Have you ever wondered why the quietest, most composed men consistently fall for women who are fiercely independent and thrive on their own terms? It's not a coincidence. There's a powerful, almost invisible force at play that draws calm men to the enigmatic world of INFJ females. What is this magnetic pull, and how does it create such a unique and undeniable connection? Forget everything you think you know about who calm men are attracted to. It's not always the bubbly extrovert or the traditional homemaker. In fact, there's a powerful, often overlooked phenomenon: the undeniable magnetic pull between serene, composed men and the fiercely independent, self-reliant INFJ female. We're diving deep into the fascinating reasons why these seemingly disparate personalities create one of the most compelling and enduring dynamics you'll ever witness. Hey there, and welcome. If you're an INFJ female, you're probably used to doing things your way, never needing validation and carving your own path in a world that loves to label people. But here's the thing: your uniqueness isn't just about being different. It's about a quiet strength that has men, especially those calm, masculine types, completely intrigued. Today, we're diving into why calm men are drawn to INFJ females, and how you can harness this energy to become the woman they can't resist. Now, let's clear something up. Society loves to put people into neat boxes, right? INFJ females don't fit into those boxes. They challenge everything people expect. In a woman, you're not the social butterfly, and you're definitely not waiting around for someone to save you. That's not what most men are used to, and honestly, it's confusing for them. The mystery? It drives them crazy, in the best way possible. Now it's time for the main talk: why INFJ female drive masculine, calm men crazy. Let's see. The mystery is magnetic. INFJ females aren't chasing anyone. They're not out there trying to win approval or fight for attention. Instead, they're focused on their own lives, moving to the beat of their own drum. Their energy doesn't scream for attention, yet it has a quiet power that draws people in. This isn't something that can be easily explained. It's an almost invisible force that makes calm, composed men take notice. These men are used to people who are predictable, who wear their emotions on their sleeves. But INFJ females, they're different. Their unpredictability is like a magnet pulling them in. They can't help but wonder, who are they? What is it about her that feels so intriguing? And the best part, INFJ females don't need to do anything extra to keep that mystery alive. They just live their lives, unapologetically doing their own thing. They're not trying to fit into anyone's expectations. That's what makes them so magnetic. It's not about being flashy or loud. It's about being quietly confident, doing what they love, and not caring what anyone thinks. It's that aura of self-assuredness that makes calm men curious, even obsessed. These men are used to being in control of most situations. But INFJ females are an enigma they can't quite crack. They find themselves thinking about her, wondering what makes her tick. And this curiosity doesn't fade. It grows over time. The more INFJ females keep to themselves, the more mysterious they become. And that mystery is something calm, masculine men can't resist. The intrigue lies in the fact that INFJ females are self-reliant and independent, not seeking validation or constantly being in the spotlight. They exist outside the social norms, doing their own thing without worrying about what the world thinks. This is exactly what makes them stand out. Calm men are typically introspective, reserved, and thoughtful. They prefer stability and peace over chaos, and they admire those who are just as composed as they are. But INFJ females bring something more. They bring an allure that's impossible to ignore. It's the fact that they don't play by society's rules. They aren't trying to be anyone else, and they don't depend on others for validation. This independence is captivating. INFJ females have the power to remain calm and centered in any situation, and that makes them an incredibly rare find. They don't allow themselves to be swayed by outside influences. They aren't desperate for attention, but the attention they do get is always earned, never forced. This makes them even more intriguing to calm men who are drawn to their self-assuredness and ability to remain grounded. The mystery isn't about playing games or being distant. It's about existing in a way that's uniquely their own. The more INFJ females embrace this mystery, the stronger the pull becomes. And as calm men try to understand them, the attraction only deepens. It's not something they can control. It's an unspoken connection. It's like a magnetic force that draws them in, makes them want to get closer, but never quite lets them get the full picture. And that's what keeps them coming back for more. The unpredictability is what fuels the mystery. And the mystery is what fuels the attraction. It's a cycle that continues, each moment revealing just enough to make them want to learn more. And every time INFJ females stay true to themselves, they only get more magnetic. Stop for a second. Do you agree with this? If you do, hit that like button, subscribe, and keep watching, because it's only getting better. 2. You're a challenge, not an obsession. INFJ females aren't looking for anyone to complete them or validate their worth. They don't need someone to make them feel important or special. Instead, they're focused on their own growth, their own dreams, and their own life. This self-sufficiency is exactly what makes them so appealing to calm, masculine men. They're not out there trying to prove themselves or seek constant reassurance. They are secure in who they are, and that confidence is magnetic. Calm men, often introspective and reserved, are drawn to INFJ females because they offer something unique. They offer a challenge, but not the kind of challenge that's about games or drama. INFJ females are the type of women who don't rush to make their feelings known or chase anyone. They don't need someone to fill their emotional void. They're already whole. That sense of independence creates a unique dynamic. It intrigues calm men, making them feel like they have to work for their attention, respect, and affection. It's not that INFJ females are playing hard to get. They're simply living life on their own terms, which in itself becomes the challenge. This is where the attraction lies. These men are used to relationships where the effort is clear, where people wear their intentions on their sleeves. But with INFJ females, things aren't so straightforward. They don't rush into relationships, and they definitely don't settle. This makes calm men step up their game. They find themselves wanting to understand the INFJ female, to break down the walls that she has so carefully built. And this process of getting to know her, it isn't fast or easy. It's a slow, steady unraveling that makes everything feel earned. For calm men, this becomes a rewarding pursuit. They aren't looking for someone to throw themselves at them or constantly seek approval. What they want is someone who is worth their time and attention, someone who doesn't need constant coddling or emotional support. INFJ females challenge them in ways they didn't know they needed. They make men reconsider their own perspectives and offer a relationship dynamic that's built on mutual respect, trust, and shared values, not on constant validation. The challenge isn't about making them feel insecure or questioning their worth. It's about pushing them to think deeper, be more intentional, and embrace a different kind of connection. This challenge doesn't come from playing hard to get. It comes from living an authentic life where everything is earned, not given away freely. INFJ females don't waste their time on things that don't matter. They don't settle for relationships that don't align with their values. And this is exactly what keeps calm, masculine men intrigued. They are challenged not by mind games or emotional manipulation, but by the strength and self-respect that INFJ females carry with them. This strength is what makes INFJ females stand out. They offer something rare, the opportunity for a man to truly earn their respect and love, not because they're chasing or seeking approval, but because they have a strong foundation of self-worth. And that's what makes INFJ females the ultimate challenge. They aren't easy to pin down, and that's exactly what makes them so captivating. It's not obsession that drives the connection. It's a mutual understanding of each other's space, boundaries, and values. This challenge makes the attraction deeper, more meaningful, and longer lasting. And as men navigate this challenge, they realize just how worth it INFJ females are. INFJ females are calm, cool, and collected. INFJ females have an inner peace that's hard to ignore. They don't get flustered easily. They don't get caught up in drama or the constant noise of the outside world. Their ability to stay calm, cool, and collected in any situation makes them stand out. In a world that's often chaotic and unpredictable, INFJ females seem like the eye of the storm. steady, grounded, and unshaken. And it's this stability that draws calm, masculine men in. They respect that INFJ females don't let emotions dictate their actions. They have a quiet strength that resonates deeply with men who also value peace and stability in their lives. It's not just that INFJ females don't get rattled easily. It's the way they handle themselves under pressure. When things get tough, they don't crumble or panic. Instead, they take a step back, assess the situation, and make a calculated decision. This doesn't just come across as impressive, it comes across as powerful. Calm men see this ability to remain composed and feel a sense of reassurance. They know that with an INFJ female by their side, they're not going to have to deal with unnecessary emotional roller coasters or unpredictable behavior. The stability that INFJ females bring to any situation is something these men find comforting and, ultimately, attractive. In relationships, calm men thrive in environments that are grounded in trust and mutual understanding. They don't want constant drama or emotional instability. They crave a partner who can match their steady energy and remain collected when things get difficult. INFJ females offer that. When others around them might be scrambling to fix something or getting emotionally charged, INFJ females stay calm, taking the time to find the best solution. This isn't to say that INFJ females are emotionless. They're simply not ruled by their emotions. They understand their feelings, but don't let them take over their actions. And this balance is something that draws calm men in, because they see it as a rare quality. The world around them might be loud and chaotic, but when they're with an INFJ female, everything feels quieter. They can breathe easier, knowing that the person they're with can handle themselves, no matter what comes their way. INFJ females know how to handle their emotions, and this emotional intelligence makes them even more appealing. When you're emotionally stable, you're able to give back in relationships in ways that are thoughtful and intentional. Calm men see this, and it becomes a part of the connection they build with INFJ females. They recognize that this steady energy isn't just a surface-level trait. It's something that runs deep and informs every decision INFJ females make. The cool, collected nature of INFJ females offers calm men a sense of peace and reassurance, making them feel secure and grounded in ways they may not have experienced before. They understand that being with someone who can remain balanced is not only rare, but incredibly valuable. INFJ females aren't just attractive because they don't react to everything. They're magnetic because they've mastered the art of staying calm and centered in a world that often feels out of control. This strength, this calmness, makes them a perfect match for the quiet, steady energy that these men crave. Stop again. If you're loving these insights, go ahead and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Let's move on to the next reason. 8. You don't need to impress anyone. INFJ females are not out here trying to impress anyone. They don't play by the rules of the social game or feel the need to put on a facade to fit in or gain approval. They live their lives authentically, on their own terms, and that's one of the most powerful qualities that draw calm, masculine men to them. These men, who are typically introspective and value depth, respect INFJ females precisely because they don't waste time pretending to be something they're not. INFJ females don't look for validation in the eyes of others. They don't feel the need to constantly prove their worth, and they're perfectly content in their own skin. This sense of self-sufficiency and authenticity is incredibly attractive. Your men find themselves drawn to women who aren't seeking external validation, because it's a sign of inner strength and confidence. They appreciate that INFJ females aren't chasing status, approval, or admiration from the world around them. They simply live and move through life as their true selves, without a second thought about what others may think. This authenticity creates a calm confidence that radiates from INFJ females. It's not about trying to fit into a mold or meet societal expectations. It's about being comfortable with who they are and where they're headed. Calm, masculine men see this and can't help but admire the self-assuredness that comes with not needing to impress anyone. When INFJ females walk into a room, they don't need the spotlight. They don't seek attention, but somehow they end up commanding it anyway. Not through flashy gestures or desperate attempts to stand out, but through their presence. It's magnetic. Their genuine confidence attracts people to them because it's rare and refreshing in a world that often rewards pretenses and masks. This confidence is rooted in the fact that INFJ females are already whole. They don't need anyone to define them, to give them meaning, or to make them feel important. They've already figured out that they are important, and that realization frees them from the pressure to impress. Calm men admire this level of clarity and peace. They don't want a woman who's constantly seeking validation because they're not looking for a relationship built on insecurity. They want someone who is secure in themselves, who doesn't rely on outside opinions to validate their existence. INFJ females offer this rare kind of peace. They know their worth and don't need to prove it to anyone. This authenticity allows calm, masculine men to feel comfortable around them, knowing that they're with someone who doesn't play games or engage in superficial displays. This kind of relationship is built on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine connection. When INFJ females choose to invest in a relationship, it's because the connection feels right, not because they need anyone's approval. And for calm men, that is incredibly attractive. It's a reminder that relationships built on authenticity and self-assurance are the ones worth pursuing. INFJ females don't need to impress. They simply need to be themselves, and that's more than enough. So, let's get real for a minute. Have you ever noticed how the calmest, most composed men always seem to gravitate toward you? It's like there's this invisible pull they just can't escape, no matter how hard they try. They're not drawn to you because of the way you look, or because you're trying to win them over. No, they're drawn to something deeper, something real. It's that quiet strength, that self-assurance that's so uniquely yours. They see you walking your own path, and they respect that. They're not looking for someone who fits into the mold society has created. They're looking for someone who has the courage to break free from the norm and create their own rules. And that's exactly what you do. You've got this subtle yet undeniable power about you that radiates from the inside out. It's not loud or in your face. It's calm, composed, and so incredibly captivating. It's the way you carry yourself with confidence, without ever having to try too hard. You're not chasing anyone's attention because you already know your worth. And that's what makes you magnetic to these men. They're looking for a woman who isn't afraid to stand on her own, who knows how to take care of herself and doesn't need anyone to validate her existence. You are exactly that woman. Your presence is calming to them, and at the same time, it's exciting. It pulls them in, making them want to know more about you. They see your strength, your independence, and your sense of self, and they can't help but be drawn to it. They find themselves thinking about you, wondering what it is about you that keeps them coming back. And it's not just about the mystery you bring, it's about the way you challenge them without even trying. You challenge their perspectives, their assumptions, and the way they approach life. You make them look at things from a different angle, and that's a powerful thing. The attraction isn't just physical, it's about the way you make them feel when they're around you. It's that feeling of wanting to be around someone who's completely secure in themselves, someone who isn't playing games. They see that in you, and they want to be a part of it. They're not seeking drama or chaos, they're seeking peace and clarity. And when they're with you, they find it. So yes, calm men are undeniably drawn to INFJ females like you because you offer them something that no one else can. You offer them that rare combination of strength, independence, and mystery that keeps them coming back for more. It's not just about attraction, it's about connection. And that's why they can't get enough of you. To wrap this up, INFJ females are a force to be reckoned with. You're not just another woman in the crowd. You are the woman who walks her own path, unapologetically and without fear. Your independence, your confidence, and the depth of your being create an irresistible dynamic that draws calm, masculine men in like nothing else. They crave the mystery you embody, the challenge you present, and the calm energy you bring to their lives. You aren't just someone they're attracted to, you're someone they can't stop thinking about. It's not about impressing them or fitting into their world. It's about being the woman who inspires them to think differently, to be better, and to grow alongside you. Your unique energy, your strength, and your authenticity make you unforgettable. And that's what makes you a magnet for calm, composed men. Now I want to hear from you. Have you noticed how your vibe affects the men around you? How do you feel about the way they are drawn to your energy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to check out my other videos on attraction dynamics. You won't want to miss them. You'll get even more insights into how your unique energy impacts those around you. Until next time, keep being your incredible, unique self. You've got this. 4. You live by your own rules. INFJ females don't play by society's rules, and that's exactly what makes them so captivating. They don't follow the typical paths or live by the usual expectations placed on women. They're not interested in conforming to a mold or fitting into predefined categories. Instead, INFJ females create their own standards, live life on their own terms, and define success based on their own values. This unapologetic independence is incredibly attractive to calm, masculine men. These men tend to be introspective and reserved, but they also deeply respect people who aren't afraid to be different or stand out. INFJ females' ability to confidently live by their own rules challenges the status quo and forces people around them to reconsider what they thought they knew. They're not looking for approval from others. Instead, they're focused on doing what feels right for them, and that energy is impossible to ignore. For calm men who prefer stability and self-assurance, INFJ females represent a rare form of strength. They're not looking to please others or meet anyone's expectations. They have their own goals, their own vision for their life, and they pursue it with a sense of determination that's deeply admirable. This isn't about rebellion for the sake of it. It's about self-respect and authenticity. INFJ females know who they are, and they don't let the world tell them how to behave or what to think. Calm men respect this ability to chart your own course and not be swayed by external opinions. It makes them realize that INFJ females aren't interested in playing by anyone else's rules. They're only interested in living life by their own standards, and that's something men admire. This independence doesn't just stop at their personal lives. It extends to how INFJ females approach relationships as well. They don't settle for anyone who doesn't align with their values. They're not going to bend to please someone else or fit into a relationship that doesn't feel right for them. Instead, they value their freedom and independence within the relationship, maintaining a sense of individuality while still being deeply connected to their partner. This balance is rare, and it's part of what makes the dynamic between INFJ females and calm men so magnetic. INFJ females don't need constant affirmation or validation from others, and that's exactly what draws calm men in. They can see that INFJ females are secure in who they are. They don't need to constantly prove themselves or seek attention. They're already content and at peace with their own lives, and that kind of security is incredibly attractive. INFJ females' commitment to living by their own rules makes them stand out from the crowd. They're not afraid to walk away from situations or people that don't serve them. They don't compromise their values or their integrity for the sake of fitting in. Calm men find this trait particularly compelling because it shows a level of self-respect that's hard to come by. INFJ females don't let anyone dictate how they should live. They understand the importance of doing what feels right for them, not what others think they should do. And that power, that authenticity, makes them irresistible to calm men who value depth, strength, and independence in a partner. INFJ females don't need anyone, but they want the right one. INFJ females are not about playing games or settling for anything less than what they deserve. They aren't looking for someone to complete them or fill a void. They are already whole. They are driven by their own ambitions, grounded in their own purpose, and comfortable being alone when necessary. This level of self-sufficiency is incredibly attractive to calm, masculine men. These men, who often value independence and introspection, recognize that INFJ females don't need anyone's approval, and they certainly don't need someone to validate their worth. This freedom to live life on their own terms is something that these men find compelling. For INFJ females, relationships are not about filling a gap or gaining external validation. Instead, they're about connecting with someone who complements their life in a meaningful way. They don't chase affection, nor do they settle for anything less than someone who adds value to their life. This sense of autonomy and clarity about what they want in a relationship is refreshing to calm men, who often find themselves in dynamics where their partner may be more dependent on external validation. Calm men are drawn to the fact that INFJ females aren't emotionally needy. They don't look to their partner for constant attention or reassurance. They're perfectly content and capable on their own. INFJ females already know their worth, and they've spent enough time learning about themselves that they're not in a rush to be in any relationship that doesn't align with their values or meet their emotional needs. This independence is magnetic because it's rare. Many women are conditioned to seek a partner who fills an emotional or social gap in their life. But INFJ females don't need anyone to define who they are. They are already secure in their own identity. When an INFJ female enters a relationship, it's because she truly wants to share her life with someone who complements her in a way that enhances her independence, not because she needs someone to feel complete. Calm men admire this level of emotional intelligence and maturity. It shows a quiet strength that resonates deeply with their own values. There's no pressure, no sense of urgency. INFJ females approach relationships with a calm understanding of their own needs and boundaries, and that's incredibly attractive to men who also value balance and space. INFJ females don't waste time on relationships that don't feel right. They're selective because they know that the right connection can add to their life, but they don't need anyone to make them feel fulfilled. This clarity is refreshing to calm men, who often feel drained by people who are constantly seeking reassurance or approval. Instead, INFJ females bring a refreshing sense of calm, knowing that they aren't relying on anyone to define their happiness. They are perfectly content with who they are and where they are in life, and when they do choose to let someone in, it's because they genuinely feel that connection, not out of desperation or need. INFJ females, by choosing to maintain their independence while allowing for the right connection, create a dynamic that is both strong and balanced. They want the right person, not just anyone, and that's what makes their presence in a relationship so valuable. Their ability to remain self-sufficient while still desiring a meaningful connection makes them irresistible to calm, masculine men who are drawn to this balance of strength and vulnerability. Stop again. If you're loving these insights, go ahead and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Let's move on to the next reason. 6. You value depth over small talk. INFJ females aren't interested in shallow interactions. They don't waste their time with trivial conversations or small talk. Instead, they crave depth. They thrive in environments where discussions go beyond surface-level topics and get to the heart of what really matters. This is one of the things that draws calm, masculine men to them. INFJ females offer something real. Calm men who are naturally introspective and thoughtful are often exhausted by the constant flow of meaningless chatter that fills the world around them. They're more interested in people who can engage in genuine conversations that spark their minds and allow them to connect on a deeper level. This is where INFJ females excel. They aren't interested in talking for the sake of talking. Instead, they prefer meaningful conversations that allow them to express their thoughts, challenge ideas, and explore new perspectives. This desire for substance over fluff creates a rare connection with calm men who appreciate the depth and richness that INFJ females bring into their interactions. INFJ females don't shy away from tough subjects either. They are comfortable talking about complex issues, whether it's about their personal experiences, their philosophies on life, or even more abstract concepts like human behavior and relationships. For INFJ females, it's about connecting on a level that transcends the mundane. Calm men, who tend to be reserved, are drawn to this. They know that conversations with INFJ females won't be wasted on meaningless banter. Instead, they'll leave the conversation feeling like they've actually learned something new or had their own perspectives challenged in ways that were thought-provoking and stimulating. What's fascinating is that INFJ females don't need to be constantly talking to create that connection. They can be silent for long periods, simply enjoying the presence of others while their mind is processing deeper thoughts. This ability to be present without feeling the need to fill every silence with words creates an atmosphere of ease and comfort that calm men find extremely appealing. It's refreshing to be with someone who isn't trying to impress them with words, but is genuinely invested in deeper connections. Small talk simply isn't satisfying for INFJ females, and that's what sets them apart. They don't get caught up in trivialities. Instead, they invest their time and energy into conversations that truly matter. This trait often catches calm men off guard, as they are used to superficial exchanges in many of their relationships or social environments. The rare ability to talk about real topics without superficial distractions creates a bond that is more profound. For these men, the idea of connecting with someone who shares this passion for deep, meaningful conversation is irresistible. INFJ females are the kind of people who make you feel seen and heard on a level that others might not even be capable of. Their focus on depth over small talk makes their presence in any conversation feel significant. Whether they're talking about their goals, their dreams, or the things that matter most to them, INFJ females know how to keep things interesting and engaging without relying on trivial chatter. This level of connection is what keeps calm men coming back for more, eager to explore the layers that INFJ females offer in conversation and beyond. INFJ females have boundaries, and they stick to them. INFJ females are incredibly self-aware and know exactly what they will and won't tolerate. They don't just set boundaries, they enforce them with the confidence and clarity that comes from knowing who they are and what they need in life. This ability to define their limits and protect their emotional space is one of the most attractive qualities about them, especially to calm, masculine men. These men, who value stability and balance in their lives, appreciate INFJ females' strong sense of self and their unwavering commitment to maintaining their personal boundaries. Calm men are often drawn to the emotional stability that INFJ females provide because they know where they stand. There's no guessing game with an INFJ female. What you see is what you get. And if someone crosses the line, they'll make it clear without hesitation. This clarity and strength create a dynamic where both people understand each other's needs and respect one another's space. For calm men, this is a breath of fresh air. In many relationships, people can be unsure of where they stand or feel that they have to compromise their values or desires to keep the peace. But INFJ females don't operate that way. They set their standards and maintain their boundaries without feeling guilty or needing validation from anyone else. This trait is rare, and it stands out to men who are looking for a partner who can be direct, honest, and emotionally mature. Boundaries don't just apply to emotional and personal needs. They extend to every area of INFJ females' lives. From their careers to their relationships, they know when to say no and when to say yes. They don't overextend themselves or sacrifice their time and energy for things or people who don't align with their values. This self-respect and ability to prioritize their well-being is something that calm men deeply admire. It creates a relationship dynamic where both people can give their best to each other, without one person constantly feeling drained or unappreciated. Calm men are often used to carrying the emotional weight of relationships themselves. But when they're with an INFJ female, the balance is different. She holds her own space, and that allows the relationship to function in a healthier, more sustainable way. INFJ females understand that their boundaries are a form of self-love and self-respect, and they won't let anyone infringe upon that. This commitment to maintaining their personal space, both physically and emotionally, ensures that they're only investing time and energy into relationships that are truly reciprocal. Calm men are drawn to this because they see the strength in an INFJ female's ability to stand firm in her needs. They recognize that these boundaries create a relationship dynamic based on respect, equality, and mutual understanding, not manipulation or emotional dependency. For INFJ females, boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about creating the space to nurture healthy, balanced connections with others. This means that when they do let someone in, it's because the relationship is aligned, with their values and is worth the investment. The strength to say no when necessary, to protect their peace and to prioritize their own emotional health is something that calm, masculine men find incredibly powerful and magnetic. It's what makes INFJ females so irresistibly attractive.